your chest. All right, so your chest needs to be in. Okay, I don't know whether you can just see me there. So you hear me just normally. So when my chest is in, I kind of go backwards. So you want this bit where as if I'm going to go punch you. You're not going to do that, are you? You're going to go, ugh, like this, in. Okay, and so that means your shoulder should be kind of, actually not your shoulders, your back. I have to choose my words correctly. Your back kind of feel like they're rounding forward. All right, if you've ever done any Tai Chi Qigong, they always say hug a tree. Okay, we will come to that in a moment. Then it's very, very important that your shoulders are dropped, so you don't hold your arms. It drops. So a good indication is that your hands should reach halfway down your thighs. Okay, so no slouching, not just slouching and then there's tension, and you're also shrinking your structure. You don't want to shrink your structure. You want to expand your structure. Okay, then you come up to your neck. Okay, this is called the J pillow. That's needed to be open. By sinking into open your lower back, you need to open this bit as well. So by doing that, you kind of tug your chin slightly underneath. Then you leave your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Always imagine that you kind of, somebody got hold of a bit of your hair and pulling it upwards. Okay, there's hardly any force, but you know it's there. Okay, so in this position, abdominal breathing, I'd like you to put your weight in one of your legs. I always put them in my right leg and step out onto my left, because that's my stronger leg. So the weight is in here. It means I could step out, not very wide, just shoulder width apart. I feel my foot is sinking down, and slowly my knee goes with it, and I'm secured. So now I'm in my stance 50-50 with my feet parallel. All right, everything else hasn't changed. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do the open forms for me. So you're you're already sitting. So now next step is you're sitting a bit more, and you want to go sit back. And that makes your arm come up, okay? Then imagine it's your little finger is driving the movement. So essentially you drop your elbows. I'm going to continue to rotate your elbows. Drop your shoulders. Then your elbow and your knee comes back together and breathe out. So it's a continuous. So you're sinking, you're sitting back, using your arms to counterbalance you. You drop your elbows. I continue to rotate my elbow. That makes my hands comes together. Okay? I also do a little bit more rotation here. I sink my shoulder first, then my elbow knees goes back together. So 4 times. So you're sinking, you're sitting back, your arms are going out, elbows dropped to my knees. I continue to rotate my elbows, going back together. One more time. So you go in, little finger driving the movement, dropping my elbows. I'm just rotating and kind of squeezing my elbows, and breathe. And then still open form. This is where the hugging the tree. Alright, I still drop my elbows, but this time I'm going to round my back even more, as if you've got a quite an old tree. So if it's an old tree, it has a large trunk. So I'm hugging the tree. But if you hug the tree, because if it's a large trunk, or like I said before, as if the floor behind you is fallen away, and you need to round your body. So you kind of concave your body to accommodate, to hug this large old tree trunk, okay? But you don't want to hold in your shoulders, sink them down, sit as far back as you can because you're holding onto a tree trunk. So imagine you're holding, you're grabbing around this tree trunk, and then make sure you sit as far back. So I want you to feel that your lower back, your upper back, as if they are against the back wall. Okay, and slowly just relax. We're going to do that one more time. So have those sensations. Still an open form, so I'm still sinking. I'm still sitting right back as if my little finger is driving the movement. I'm rounding my back. I'm letting go of my shoulders, so I'm not holding in my shoulders, but I'm using my back. And I'm sitting as far back as I can. My lower back is touching the back wall. My upper back is also touching the back wall. Drop your shoulders all the time. Always drop them. And relax. Alright. Still like as if you're hugging the tree. Or you're resting your arms on the table. But I want your palm to facing each other. Then I want you to start to shift your weight. So when you shift your weight to your right leg, you should be turning to your left. And then when you shift your weight to your left leg, you should be turning to your right. Let go of your arms and just let your arm follow. So your arms just follow whatever is happening with your legs. So I'm going to start pulling. So if you're pulling from start pulling with your left foot, you should feel your calves, your knee, your hip follows. And then the upper parts of your body will just follow your hip. And breathe out. So my beach ball in front of me isn't like this. I expand it out. Okay, but I'm not locking because then I haven't got a ball. Then you're just holding, I don't know, plank. But you want to feel as round as possible. So when you shift your weight to your left, you should be turning to your right. And before I get to the end of my turn, I start pulling with the opposite foot. So my movement become continuous. So there isn't like a stop and then I start again. It's continuous. Alright, I'm going to ask you to step out now. So you can come in your half a stance, start pulling with that step, with the foot you step out with, until the weight goes into your front leg. Then drop your back hip. It's important that knee doesn't go like this. Push it out. Weight in my front leg. Start pulling with your back foot. So the weight, I want you to go back to 50-50. Still sitting in your imaginary chair. Just swap inside. Pull until the weight go into your front leg. But I drop my back hip, making sure my knee is not dropping inward. So it should look like this. Hugging my tree. Turning. So my beach ball, so I've got a beach ball now. Then my beach ball is going to go all the way to my left. All the way to that corner because I've dropped my back hip. Coming back same with the other side. Don't know whether you saw that, because, let me explain. So I've got my hugging the tree. When I sink, I turn, my arms turn with it. When I'm going out, if I drop my back hip and I continue to turn, I feel so my arms start to turn. So yeah, so I'm already in this position. Because if I drop my back hip, I pull back around. So I'm doing a figure of 8. I don't know whether you can see. When I pull, drop this hip, it pulls me back around, almost like a figure of 8. Breathe out. I drop my back hip, pulls me back. Again, I drop my back hip, it pulls me round. Okay. We will practice that again next week. Let's try another movement. It's still coming from the hip. So you're still sitting back. So you're not just sitting down, but you're also sitting back. Because by doing so, it allows your arms to travel forward on its own. Okay? Again, you don't want to hold it because it doesn't work then. Alright? If you just hold, you're isolating your arms on their own. And you left them on their own. Or alone. So you want to connect them to the rest of your body. So from here, as if you're holding a dish in your hand, I want you to slowly, without changing your spine at all, it stays in a neutral spine position. You go deeper into your hip flexors. That's what's happening. So you're not bending your back as such. And just slowly feel your body going further down towards the floor. When you're down here, I want you to reach forward. So when you reach forward, your arm rises. And at the same time now, you want your tailbone to go back the way it was. That means facing your heel. Then when you're up here, what you want to focus on is dropping your shoulder. I don't know if you can see. When I drop my shoulder, it pulls kind of pull my arm in, but I didn't shrink it, okay? I didn't bring them in. Okay, so when you drop your shoulder, your arm kind of comes in a little. I'm letting my elbows go out a little bit. You should feel lots and lots of energy in your hands right now. When you go all the way down to where your hip, when you start going down in your hip, you should feel your hands just want to turn on their own. I'm going to challenge you. How are you going to make your arms a little bit longer? So I want you to make your arms feel longer while you're coming down to the bottom. Now use the same method to reach forward with your arms, and when your tailbone to go facing back down towards your heel, you drop your shoulders and slowly, as if you are pushing something, as if your fingers, often I feel like my fingers are touching each other, and I know they're not. So these are my energy just coming out from the tip of my fingers. So you're lowering with your hip, not you're bending your spine. Your spine remains in a neutral position. Reach forward with your arms. And tailbone going back down to your heels. And breathe out. Drop your shoulders. Slowly. As if you're pushing a pump. One more time. So when your hands is down by your head, going down your head, palms should automatically face up. If you're not holding in your shoulders, reach forward with your arms. Do not use your shoulders, so you have to have a think. What else you're going to use instead? Drop your shoulders. Let your elbows kind of go out tiny without lifting. And all the way down. Okay, I'm going to ask you to make the same movement. It's actually exactly the same. I'll come back a bit so you can hopefully see more of me. Alright, so I'm asking you to come up in your open form. Imagine you've got that beach ball in your arm again. But you're not holding, so relax, you're not squeezing. You want to round, remember you want to concave your body. Now I want you to shift the weight. So like before, you shift the weight. So you come into your half a stance if you want. Then I'm going to step, I'm still sitting in my back leg. I continue to step back leg. I've done nothing with, so you're going into your hip. When you go into your hip, you're sitting in your back leg still. Then I'm bending my knees. Still sitting on my back leg. Reach forward and dropping my tailbone at the same time. So it's the same movement. The only difference is now your weight is in one of your legs because you're shifting weight and turning. So before we were just in 50-50, but now you shift your weight, you turn, like the one we did just before we did this one. If you want, you can come into your half a stance. Your weight is still in your back leg. Okay, I just let my leg straighten. Then I'm still sitting in my back leg, but I am bending my knees all the way down. Now I reach forward with my arms. I slowly sink my tailbone back into my heel. Okay, let's try again. Still your beach ball. I'm going to come forward so you can see what's happening here. I'm sinking, I'm turning. My weight is in my back leg still. I straighten up my front leg, but now my knees are bent. I'm going down, but I'm not out here. I'm going down, so I don't move my arms whatsoever. I'm just going down my hip flexors, all the way down. I bend my knee, and I reach forward with my arm. At the same time, I drop my tailbone. So nothing going on, so you don't need to move your arms at all. Sinking, turning, that's why my arms moved over here. Now, okay, we could bring this leg back so you can see what's happening. Then I just go down in my hip flexors. I step out, but I'm still in this weight, still in the back leg. I am bending my knee. I reach forward with my arms, sinking my tailbone, and I'm hugging my tree again. So it goes, so it looks like this. So it's nothing, I haven't done that. I've never moved my arm, sink, turn, lengthen my front leg, still sitting in my back leg, lowering with my hip flexors, dropping my tailbone, reaching forward, and breathe Still got my tree trunk, still hugging it. Sinking, turning. Dropping into my hip flexors, weight in my back leg. Reaching forward with my arm, dropping my tailbone at the same time. One on each side. Breathing in. Out. In. No holding in the arms, in the shoulders. Dropping. Feel your quads opening all the time. And put everything back. So they were same movement. Okay. Gonna do a little bit more. This time, so I'm doing exactly the same thing, hugging the tree or the energy ball or the beach ball. I'm going to ask you to step out again just before. So you start pulling with the front leg until your weight go into your front leg. Drop your back hip. Feel it turning back, figure of 8. Alright, just normally, one on each side first, just get into that movement again. But, okay, this time, what I'm going to ask you to do, so it's important you know where your weight. So the weight needs to go in your front leg. When the weight slowly goes into your front leg, it means the back leg can come with you. If the weight is still in your front leg, it means you can step back that way. And if the weight now in the new front leg, it means you can step up with new back leg. Step, pull. So weight's going in your front leg. So this one, it will come together. Weight still in my left. It means I could move my back leg. I turn. So this can come with me. Weight still in my front leg. Going into my new front leg. Weight in my front leg. This comes together. One more time. So I'm turning first. I step, elbow to my knee, elbow to my knee. Bring everything together. All right. Don't know whether that's really confusing for you or not. Okay, right. Got a tiny little bit of time, so I just run through that. So the elbows are always important. Let's come up, your open palm. So sitting back, little finger rotating up. You're hugging the tree. Shifting weight. When you shift weight, you can turn. So feel the turn, yeah? So I'm exaggerating these movements. So I feel the turn, I'm turning. Start pulling with my front foot, but I'm still sitting in here until I successfully transfer the weight into here. Okay, so I think that's probably most of you can do quite substantially. And then this elbow is important because it drives for me. Then I turn, weight still in this leg, slowly pull the weight, again a sink. This elbow sink as well, this elbow sink as well. Come into here together. All right. Let's just put everything back. So sinking, sitting down, sitting back, as if your little fingers, it's moving you. Rotate your elbows together. Put everything back in your lower dantian, in your mind. Alright, just stay here, just a tiny little bit more. But I don't want you to stay upright with your chest sticking out. I want you to still do all that kind of thing, concave, as if you're trying to concave your body. Still feel your weight going downward. So again, ideally, your hands should be touching midway of your thighs. Your chin still tucked, slightly underneath. Feel the little light energy going up as your physical weight is still going down. So I'm not standing up, I'm sitting down. So you want to sink and sit back at the same time. At the same time, concave your body. So when you concave your body, it allows you to round your back, but not this, because that's just shrinking your posture. Make a conscious note of how that your back feels, how your leg feels, maybe shaking, and how your shoulder feels. Alright, and relax. And thank you. Alright, okay, there was a lot in that session there. Some new movement. Just to show you that a lot of the movement in it's the ability to go into your quad, which is your hip flexors, and also hollowing your body, letting go of your shoulders, but not then shrink your structure, but you still want to enlarge your structure at the same time. Okay, but we keep practicing those movements. Hello, Alison. Didn't know you were sneaked in. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that. As I said, we can keep. I will keep practicing those through the next few weeks. Okay, so thank you very, very much again for being online. It's Wendy from Tai Chi, The Way of Life. These videos will get uploaded on the YouTube channel with Active Newcastle, on the Facebook, as well as on my channel as well. Okay, so tatty bye for now, and thank you too. You're my pleasure. I shall see you all. Thank you, Alison. I'm pleased you enjoy that and you found that useful. Excellent. Yeah. All right. Okay. Alison, I don't know whether you know, but as from the end of the month, the classes will go back. Well, the Monday and the Friday classes will go back into the park, but I will post it in the WhatsApp group. All right, okay, thanks. Have a very, very lovely day and a lovely week. See you next week. Bye.